Good afternoon, football fanatics. Good morning, football fanatics. Good evening, football fanatics. From wherever you are or from wherever you might be watching. Welcome to the Real Talk FC. My name is Triv, and this is the first time that I'm going to be doing a video for you alone without my mate Rail. The reason for that is this video is going to be a little bit closer to home. There's a lot of stuff going on surrounding Manchester United at the moment, and I wanted to take this opportunity, this platform, this wonderful thing that we have on YouTube, to have a little bit of discussion with anyone that might be listening, any of my fellow Manchester United fans, any other football fans that might be listening, and have an opinion on what's going on at what used to be a very well-run and successful football club that aren't doing particularly well right now. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Remember, you can like, share, and subscribe. There'll be links to our videos in the description down below. This football channel is for everyone, not just Arsenal fans, not just Manchester United fans, for any football fan that wants to have their opinion heard. Please pop us a message. Our email accounts are down below. Our Twitter handles are down below. So please get involved and let us know. So, Manchester United. Let's start on a slightly positive, more upbeat note. And let's have a look at the strengths. What are the positives at Manchester United Football Club right now? Off the top of my head, in terms of squad, I can think of two. I can think that think of our midfield. I think we have a lot of options in midfield. We have a lot of quality in midfield. Paul Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, Fred, Nemanja Matic, Scott McTominay. I think there's a lot of fluidity in the midfield. I think there's a lot of options in terms of how we can line up as a midfield. Donny van der Beek, sorry. So I think that is a massive positive going for Manchester United. So at this point, I have certain reservations about Nemanja Matic's ability to continue as a top CDM in the Premier League. I know that he was critical to Manchester United's successful run at the end of last season. And I think that his experience and his mentality and decision making is very important for us. I don't know if the legs are still there. Speaking of legs, another positive is the speed that Manchester United have going forward. I think Rashford, Marshall, Greenwood, Daniel James offer absolute lightning counter-attacking ability. And I think that is a massive positive for us when we play against teams that have a slightly higher defensive line. We're able to get in behind. We're able to win lots of penalties. And I think that's a massive positive. We're blessed with goalkeepers. This is an interesting debate, but let's start with the positive side of this. We're blessed with three very good goalkeepers. Sergio Romero is the number one for Argentina, or one of the number one options for Argentina. Dean Henderson is one of the options as number one goalkeeper for England. David De Gea is one of the options as the number one goalkeeper for Spain. We're blessed with those goalkeepers. David De Gea has made a couple of errors, high-profile errors of late. Still think he's a wonderful goalkeeper, and I still think Manchester United are in a luxury position when it comes to goalkeepers. So yeah, if I look at the squad and look at positives, I would highlight those three areas and say that Manchester United are strong in those three areas. If we're looking at a football club in general, the club brand continues to grow. We're seemingly not affected by it in terms of by our on-field performances. Seemingly don't impact the club's popularity and the club's growth and its fan base, and we are this massive machine which has massive marketing potential, which is something that we'll speak about a little bit later on in this video. Right. Unfortunately, folks, I think that's where the positive ends. I think looking at the weaknesses of the club, I think number one for me, and this is arguable, and this is where I'd love to hear you. What do you think your number one is? My number one is our lack of wingers. I think the Man United do not have the best crosser of the football club, the best crosser of a ball at the football club is Luke Shaw, our left back. That's not good enough. That's simply not good enough. We need to be able to get into wide positions and be able to put the ball into the box. Um, I think we become very narrow and very predictable. Uh, Mason Greenwood wants to come onto his left. Marcus Rashford wants to come onto his right foot. It's so predictable, and if they go down the channel, if they try and hug the touchline, they're one-dimensional because they're one-footed players. I know that Mason Greenwood is capable of hitting the ball on his right foot. The kid's blessed, but he still wants to come onto his left foot and cut inside. He doesn't want to be playing. He doesn't want to get chalk on his boots, as the old timers refer to old-fashioned wing play. I think as a centre forward, that's extremely frustrating. You want your wide men to be giving you service into the box. It doesn't have to be aimed at your head. Before people out there start saying, "Oh, but Anthony Marshall isn't great on his head," no, he's not. Marshall probably not going to win a centre forward header like Ruud van Nistelrooy or Alan Shearer or Harry Kane for that matter. Then he's not a big bloke. Crosses don't have to be aerial. Crosses can be drilled in across the floor, and Anthony Marshall has the speed to get in between two centre halves and pop the ball into the bottom corner. But the ball is not drilled across the face of the goal, and if it is drilled across the face of the goal, it's from an overlap. It's from Luke Shaw making an overlap that is the most predictable thing. You can see Shaw, no fat jokes, you can see Shaw bombing down the left from miles away, and by that time, the two centre halves have one centre forward in Anthony Marshall to mark. I don't think that's particularly good for the club. I think it's a massive weakness. I think it's makes us very one-dimensional, and I think the wide play is an issue that we need to address at the football club. Number two, can you guess it? Yeah, centre backs. And before we have the argument of you've got a 200 million pound defense, yes, we do. We have Harry Maguire, we have Chris Smalling. At the time of this video, he has not agreed his move to Roma, so I'm going to include him in this. Victor Lindelof, Eric Bailly, I think Marcos Rojo is in South America somewhere, still on the books at Man United. We will come to that a little bit later. We have centre backs. We have expensive centre backs. We have an 80 million pound captain that we paid for at centre back. The issue here ties in with something that we're going to speak about later in terms of our transfers matching football needs, but our centre backs don't complement one another. We have what we call ball playing centre backs, but we do in Eric Bailly inconsistently a centre back who is rough and rugged and basically the Vidic to the Rio Ferdinand. Somebody to be aggressive, somebody to attack the football before a shot is taken, somebody to run down and close down attackers before they can cut inside, before they can have a shot at goal. Lindelof and Maguire do not have the pace to do that. Harry Maguire charging at you, Victor Lindelof charging at you, doesn't exactly strike fear into a fast centre forward. He's able to sidestep them, go around. Eric Bailly charging at you is a different story, but Eric Bailly is made of glass. I love him, but that's the truth, and we cannot rely on Eric Bailly because of his fitness-related issues. So I think centre back is another issue or another weak point in the squad that we need to address at some point. Right. Let's take that and move into slightly more specifics about weaknesses happening in Manchester United so far. Goalkeepers. I know I mentioned it as a strength, and it is a strength. We've got David De Gea, Dean Henderson, Sergio Romero, 3 world-class goalkeepers. Why do we have 3 world-class goalkeepers? Why do we have a wage bill that is so heavy on goalkeepers? Why is Sergio Romero still at the club? I think Dean Henderson is fantastic. I think that the kid has a lot of potential. I absolutely love his mindset. I think he's got this drive to be the best. He needs to be there, or David De Gea needs to be there. Why are we paying two goalkeepers in excess of £500,000 a week, where one of them is going to sit on the bench? That is very poor running of a football club. That is poor decision making from the people that sit and look at contracts. And how is that? How is that necessary? How is that smart? Why do we have three first choice goalkeepers sitting? And for some reason we're still stuck with Mr. Grant. Jose, thank you very much for that. Don't know why it is that you did that, but yeah, we're still stuck with Grant at the football club. Um, that is a problem. We need to address that. We need to get rid of first choice goalkeepers that we aren't going to use and have a backup goalkeeper who is on a lower salary that is happy to sit on the bench. I love David De Gea, but if we're going to stick with Henderson, bye bye, David. Thank you very much for your services. If we're going to stick with De Gea, thank you, Henderson. You've been a fantastic kid. I know it's your dream to play for this football club. Unfortunately, maybe you can come back at a later stage. Toodaloo. You cannot have three first choice goalkeepers sitting on £500,000 a week at your football club. That is pathetic. Issue number two, long contracts. Let's follow on from that. We gave Andres Pereira a 4-year contract last year and then sent him on loan to Lazio this year. That's poor. That is so poor. Has anyone who deals with contracts gone to the coaching staff and said, does this lad deserve a 4-year contract? Why are we giving him a 4-year contract? The consequences of giving out contracts like that, like the 4-year deal that was given to Phil Jones, you cannot move players on. If you put Phil Jones on 150k a week, no club is going to be able to come and match that. Why would Phil Jones leave? Why? Phil Jones is not fit anyway. He's not able to. So this concept of maybe he'll want to go and play first choice football somewhere else. He can't. He's not fit. He's not playing first choice football here. He's not going to play first choice football at another club because he's not fit enough. Yet we've given him a 4-year deal. We rank up our wage bill that's sitting on massive amounts of money with players that we don't use. Does anyone know where Marcus Rojo is? Does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer know where Marcus Rojo is? Does Ed Woodward know where Marcus Rojo is? Does Matt Judge know where Marcus Rojo is? Why is he still in the books at Manchester United? Why can we not move him on? We need to stop giving players massive contracts that they do not deserve. Number three, squad morale. And I look at squad morale in a couple of ways, and I think one of the main issues I think with squad morale at the moment is players looking around at our competitors. We're probably 17th in the football table at this stage, so please, I say competitors in a very loose sense right now. Man City have splashed out money on a position that they need. They've strengthened their defenders. Pep Guardiola's 460 million aside, they have strengthened their defenders. They've got more defenders into the football club. They fixed the problem that they have. Chelsea have spent 200 million this transfer window and counting to fix areas that they feel are that they needed to improve in. The champions, Liverpool, could have done without a signing. They brought in Thiago Silva. They brought in Diego Jota. Our players are looking around left and right at all of these football clubs, showing ambition, showing this desire to push on and lift the trophy at the end of the Premier League season. A couple of years ago, 2010, I think it was, one Wayne Rooney downed tools at Manchester United and said that it's not good enough if we're not going to buy players to compete. And as a 20-year-old at that time, I was gutted. I took my Rooney shirt, chucked it in the back of the closet, didn't want to see it. Came back and scored a fantastic bicycle, but yeah, he's spot on. He was spot on. What is the motivation that these players have, knowing that people in and around them, or clubs in and around them, are showing their ambition to win things? Wayne Rooney was a winner. With the moment that he saw this club wasn't matching his ambition, he wanted to leave. Manchester United are stuck in a difficult situation right now of having players on high wages that don't want to leave. They want to stay there, but they're also aware they're probably not going to win. You put those two things together, their morale is not fantastic. It's not great at all. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has a more difficult job in terms of boosting morale than he does tactically at this football club. Uh, the Glaziers. Oh, the Glaziers and our fantastic chairman and our fantastic chief negotiator, whatever it is that you want to call, Mr. Ed Woodward and Matt Judge. Um, Not good enough. Not good enough at all. Let's talk about Netspend. Because the first thing that you are met with when you ask questions about, or why aren't Manchester United spending money, is, oh, your net spend is second only to Manchester City. Yes, you are correct. Manchester United's problem is the lack of a director of football. If you look at the way that the club is structured at the moment, Ed Woodward is the chairman. Ed Woodward is also the golden boy of the Glaziers. Ed Woodward is also making football decisions. If you have a look at what that creates, is that you have the owner's whipping boy making decisions on who to buy and how much money to spend. So somebody who is responsible for pleasing board members and shareholders is also responsible for making sure that the footballing needs of the club is met. That is a massive conflict of interest that shouldn't be happening at an organization the size of Manchester United. It's not good enough. Ed Woodward is never, ever, ever going to make a decision that benefits the footballing side when his number one priority is to go to that AGM once a year and say, here's your profit, lads. Thank you very much for coming. Please keep me on at this position. I'm enjoying this cushy job. I'll make sure that you get X amount of money again next year. How is it that somebody whose sole responsibility at a football club is to make sure of uh, the financial rewards received by shareholders is also deciding football related decisions? It doesn't make sense. Manchester United need a director of football. If we have a director of football, then you can start looking at net spend. Manchester United needed a winger, needed a centre forward, needed a left back, needed a central midfielder last season. They bought £80 million Harry Maguire. They bought £50 million Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Both of them, Maguire's individual errors aside, and I will discuss that in a couple of moments. Both of them were good buys. The problem is that's not good enough. You cannot need five things. If you're stuck in a desert island and you need food, water, and something to make fire with, and I give you food, you're going to die. You're going to die because you cannot buy one of something that you need when your needs are greater than one. And that is what Manchester United are doing at the moment. They're splashing stupid amounts of money on a centre back when they need five other players. I like Harry Maguire, and I'm not going to criticize Harry Maguire because that's hypocritical. I think that he is a good leader, and I think that he is the right buy. He was Premier League proven. However, we shouldn't have bought Harry Maguire if we were going to say to the manager, 80 million is all you have to spend on centre backs. We should have gone for somebody cheaper. We should have gone for somebody who wasn't going to cost 80 million and then tried to have gotten in extra players as well. It's not good enough to say, oh, but you spent 130 million on defenders, go and win the league. What about the other three positions that we needed filling? What are we supposed to do with those? Director of football, massively needed at Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's not without fault. And anyone that follows me on Twitter, please follow me. The link is down below. I have a soft spot for him. I do think that after the Jose debacle, I think it's very important to have somebody at this football club that understands what this football club is about. Go and have a look at Rio Ferdinand's recent podcast. I can't remember the name right now. I'm trying to link it down below. He did, I think it's a high performance. That's what it's called. Great podcast. Check it out. He speaks about the way that he was let go at the football club. Zero respect shown for an absolute club legend. Robin van Persie, no respect shown for a club legend, just ignored and frozen out of a football club. That's not what this club is about. Anybody that's followed Manchester United for any period of time, anyone that's read a book about Manchester United, anybody that has an idea of what this football club stands for and is about, will understand that there's more to it than that. And that's why I personally feel the manager of Manchester United needs to understand what what goes on at this football club. They need to understand why it's important to greet the lady at the front desk when you walk into Carrington in the morning. They need to know the name of the lady making breakfast. They need to know the name of the kitten man. They need to know the name of the person cutting the grass. It's important at this football club, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has that. That being said, tactically, he needs to improve. We are stuck in a situation where we're not fantastic. We're lacking players. We're lacking a winger. We're lacking a centre back. We need to make adjustments. Does that mean playing three at the back to accommodate our lack of adequate partners or an adequate partnership to play at centre back? Does that mean that he needs to play wing backs and perhaps find width in that manner? Yes, questions need to be asked of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's not free of any form of criticism at Manchester United right now. He's the manager. He's responsible. He said after the Tottenham game, he puts his hand up. And 100% he needs to be questioned as well. Next thing, individual errors. Harry Maguire, my man, why have you tackled Luke Shaw? Why have you wrestled Luke Shaw to the ground when he was going to clear the ball? You've now given Ndombele a free run to smack the ball into the back of the net. Individual errors need to stop. Where do they come from? They come from conviction. Harry Maguire, that first header where he smacked it against Bailly, and it's come back to him, and he's tried to head the ball back to the hair. Don't try to head the ball back to the hair. Head the ball back to the hair. Believe in what it is that you are doing. If you're going to hit that ball so hard that David De Gea has to make a flying save and pop it around the corner for a corner kick, so be it. It's better than knocking it down for Ndombele to have a free run at goal. Be certain about what you do, and those individual errors will go away. If you're going to make a slide tackle, make a slide tackle. It's ball or it's man. Not two things are getting past, one thing are getting past. Show some conviction in what you do on a football pitch, and those individual errors will slowly start to fall away. Luke Shaw, what are you doing, son? People asking questions at the end of their football match. What is Ole doing tactically? Luke Shaw is standing at right back when he's the left back. A manager at a top level football club should never, ever, ever have to go to his left back before the game and say, hey son, listen, today you're playing at left back. I'd like you to please stay in your position. What is that? You're getting paid £200,000 a week, and you don't know that you need to be tracking the right winger and the right back. Not good enough, Luke Shaw. Those sorts of errors need to be cut out of that football club. And I think that one of the ways that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to be responsible for cutting that out is drop him. Drop him. Harry Maguire needs to be dropped. Luke Shaw needs to be dropped. The difficulty is having a squad to be able to show that sort of assertiveness as a manager. Tejas is apparently supposedly having a medical as we speak. That gives Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the option to drop Luke Shaw. Do we go with Lindelof and Maguire? Are you happy with that, Manchester United fans? Or do we go with Lindelof and Eric Bailly? Do we drop Harry Maguire, £80 million centre back? I think he deserves to be dropped. But do you trust Bailly and Lindelof enough to drop them and then play Lindelof and Bailly and drop Harry Maguire? It's easy to say to a manager, drop him. The consequences of dropping him are difficult when you don't have a football club. One of my good friends has a blog that he puts out every now and again. Waffling with Mushi, have a look at that. His suggestion: throw in Mengi, throw in a youngster, let him play. Fantastic. What happens if that youngster gets destroyed? His confidence in the toilet. There's risks to doing that, and I think that if we had an actual squad, that wouldn't be the problem. Lastly, the bottom line, where I'd like to leave this breakdown of, I think, Manchester United's current situation. I know that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has his faults. I know that LVG had his faults. I know that David Moyes had its faults. I know that Jose Mourinho had its faults. At which point are we going to say enough is enough? The Glazers need to be kicked out of our football club. I'm making an appeal to any Manchester United fan that is listening to this video, watching this video. Unfollow the football club on social media. Please don't buy their shirts. We are a marketing machine. The reason that we're able to get so many sponsorship deals that then line stakeholders or shareholders' back pockets, that then allow the Glazers to siphon money off this football club all the time, is because our marketing reach is ridiculous. And companies know this. They're willing to throw massive amounts of money at us because they know that a simple tweet has 22 million people seeing it. One tweet, 22 million people. It's ridiculous. The marketing reach of Manchester United is ginormous. The power lies with us. If we unfollow those accounts, we drop their marketing reach. Our voices need to be heard. There are Manchester United fans based in Manchester. They have different capabilities than what we do. I'd love to see them when we're allowed back in the stadium. I'd love to see a walkout. And I know there's pros and cons to that, and I respect somebody that doesn't want to walk out on their team. I completely understand it, and I tip my imaginary hat to you. That's fantastic. I just feel something needs to be done. And for fans that aren't in Manchester, please consider the power that you have by a simple unfollow button, by simply not buying the team's kit. Stop lining their back pockets. Stop allowing them to treat us the way that they treat us, and still going and lining their back pocket after that. When that changes, when we get different managers, or when we have different owners who are able to back the manager, if the Glazers decide, if they listen to us and start backing our manager, look at Everton. Look at what Everton have done by backing Carlo Ancelotti. When we have that, I say to people that are questioning Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, no problem. No problem. If instead of buying 2 of the 5 players that he needs in a transfer window, and we buy 5 of the 5 players that he needs in a transfer window, and his performances are still in the toilet, kick him out. No problem. Kick him out. You cannot be questioning a manager when you're giving him 2 players that he needs out of the 5. So, that's my rant. I would love to hear from you. You can comment down below. You can pop me a message on Twitter. Let me know what your thoughts are. Please share this video, like, subscribe, hit me up on social media. Let me know what it is that you think. Goodbye, football fanatics, and goodbye, Manchester United fans, the happy ones and the sad ones. Good night.